Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. It is the first day of Leo season. Congratulations, we've made it through water. So we just had I feel season, and we all felt that. Now we get to express our will. Leo is I will season. So, if you know me, you know. This desk. I can't cross my leg under any desk, and I love to sit cross-legged. So it's a curse, but my legs are just long. So, I love scriptures. It doesn't matter from what tradition they came from, but I love scriptures. I did not burn this book after reading. It was not my will. You know, this is the book of the law. And you don't need to look. I have a pile of a box, that white box right there is of will and love. Because this is so Leo. As soon as I realized what we were moving into today, I knew what I had to talk about. And I've talked about this concept this week already, where the will is the whole of the law. But let's get cracking. I'll break it down. Don't worry. The law of thelema. Now, let me say this. I'm not a thelemite. I don't have a current religious practice other than what I would say could be bhakti. So, I like to dabble. That being said, this is the law of thelema. This book lays down a simple code of conduct. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. This means that each of us stars is to move in our true orbit, as marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, the impulse of our past experiences. All events are equally lawful and every one necessary in the long run for all of us in theory. But in practice, only one act is lawful for each one of us at any given moment. Therefore, duty consists in determining to experience the right event from one moment of consciousness to another. It's talking about discernment. Each action or motion is an act of love, uniting us with one or another part of Nuit. Such act must be under will, chosen so as to fulfill, not to thwart the true nature of the being concerned. The technical methods of achieving this are to be studied in magic or acquired by personal instruction from the Master Therion and his appointed assistants. Okay? They're very short paragraph, but it does talk about it a little bit. So this is a deep this book speaks in parable, just like every other poetry-based scripture, right? A lot of these scriptures are works of art because they use imagery to connect with our souls in a different way. Jesus always spoke in parables. He told stories to give examples, right? I love to do that too because it's a way of hacking into the brain to learn a lesson at a deep egoic soul level. It gets under the layers, right? So there is no law beyond do what thou wilt. And it goes on to say, this means that each of us stars is to move in our true orbit, as marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, the impulse of our past experiences. Okay, so this has to do with the natal chart. To me, that's the way I read this in context. This book is based on, like, everything about Thelema is based on Venus and the Venus cycles in her ecliptic, more or less, breaking it all down. Bare bones. Some people might get mad at me for breaking it down that far, but that's my level of understanding after reading this book so many times. So it's saying here that we are all stars. And Carl Sagan says the same thing. We are all star stuff. So we move in our true orbit, marked out by the nature of our position, which would be where the sun was when we were born. Marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, and the impulse of our past experiences, which could entail our past lives. This goes back and forth through time. All events are equally lawful, and every one necessary in the long run for all of us, in theory. But in practice, only one act is lawful for each one of us at any given moment. Okay, so let's unpack that. All events are equally lawful, and every one necessary. This is a means of staying unconditional in our experiences in life. Okay? The sun doesn't shine conditionally. It comes every single day, and it goes to bed every single night. The moon has conditions. The moon has phases. The moon does not shine every night, but we know she's there, right? That's why we use these masculine and feminine metaphors. This is so perfect for the Leo sun. This is like a new year for the cycle of the sun. So it's like a birthday for the sun, more or less. All events are equally lawful. That means war, rape, wrongdoing, good events, bad events equally. Things that happen out of our control. All events are equally lawful. Why is that? Because we're locked in to our own truth, our personal truth, which is our own heart beating in our chest. We know what our true orbit is, the law of our own growth. If we've been on this path of personal development, we have a strong sense of who we are by now. If not, you have some work to do, and this is a good season to be working on your will. So, in the long run, for all of us in theory, but in practice, only one act is lawful for each one of us at a given moment, which is to love, regardless. Therefore, duty consists in determining to experience the right event from one moment of consciousness to another. Being present in all consciousness levels, positive or negative, being with that, not judging it, not trying to move it or change it into something else, sitting with it. It is what it is. It's magic, right? But you decide your own emotional state regardless of the happenings. This is what it's talking about. Determining from one consciousness to another. It's like remaining in will. It's my choice to accept whatever comes my way the way it comes. I will respond accordingly, and I know my will for my growth. It might mean being rebellious, right? I love unpacking this. Each action or motion is an act of love, uniting with one or another part of Nuit, which is the night sky, which is our stars, our mother, our matrix, our soul, our natal charts. She's who represents the night sky, in and of itself, and she's depicted as laying over the earth, protect her. She's beautiful. She has flowing hair, and there's beautiful mythologies about her. But she's about our source. She's about where we come from, our roots. You get what I'm saying? She's our most intrinsic parts of ourselves, the things that are unspoken, the subconscious. She's our star stuff speaking to us. That's Nuit. So every act of consciousness and decisiveness and determination and being in your discretion and your wisdom and trying to come out of love is an act of making love with our subconscious and the matrix, our feminine side. It's beautiful. So that's our will. We have to turn everything into love and transmute it. Okay, so each act must be under will, chosen so as to fulfill and not thwart the true nature of the being concerned. So we have to act accordingly in our own true nature, but we can't press any deity or any God within somebody else or any personality within somebody else. We can't enforce our will onto others. We have to act out of love and know that we are in the right place, honoring our mother, our star stuff, our subconscious, our side of the street. You understand? This is, let me talk about it again. I'll go from the top. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Capital. Law. Capital. Love is the law. Love under will. So love is under will, because it's a conscious decision to be unconditional. Dope book. At the very end, it says to burn it. It's not for everybody, and I'm not asking you to listen to it or read it if you do audiobooks, whatever. It's kind of far out, but the poetry is beautiful, and you can see why I love scriptures, plural. Because they come out of artistic sense, metaphors, myths. They're our friend. They help us understand our own consciousness in ways that telling a straightforward story will not, because then the meanings and the nuances get missing and it's too literal. There's this thing about emotion. It's unquantifiable. It's liquid. It changes. How do we use that unless we have color and sound and light to play with? It's a vibration. And oftentimes that's nonverbal. So this is I will season. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it here. I'm not saying you need to read any works by Aleister Crowley. I'm just saying it's a lot sexier to have an open mind, isn't it? Makes a lot more sense too. But if you get a chance, coming up soon, there's going to be a meteor shower coming in August. The Perseids meteor shower. So go ahead and pick a night like that to make love to the sky, under will, under love, and realize that's us. Feel that oneness for a second. I know I've been talking a lot about honoring the individual and the separation, but we can stand in the center of individuality and appreciate how we are star stuff too. So that's my word of the day. It's Monday. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.